Welcome to the distributed system course. In the previous session, we discussed some of the physical synchronization techniques, that is Christian's algorithm and Berkeley's algorithm. Today we are going to discuss the remaining physical clock synchronization techniques. The main algorithm used for physical clock synchronizations are coordinated universal time, that is UTC, Christian's algorithm, Berkeley's algorithm, averaging algorithms, and network time protocol. In the previous session, we discussed UTC and Christian's algorithm and Berkeley's algorithm. Both the Christian's algorithm and Berkeley's algorithms are centralized in nature. That is, there is one network server which provides service to all other machines. In the case of Christian's algorithm, the time server is passive, and in the case of Berkeley's algorithm, the time server is active. There is a difference between the Christian's algorithm and Berkeley's algorithm. There are some problems associated with these algorithms, that is centralized algorithms. The first one is does not work if the time server fails. That is, it is based on the only one server, that is time server. So if that server fails, this the system as a whole don't work. That is the case. There is a bottleneck in the system. The another reason is not secure against malfunctioning time server. That is, the whole system is working based on the time server. If that time server is not secure, then we can say that it is a good system. That is another problem of this centralized algorithms. The next algorithm for physical clock synchronization is averaging algorithm. Averaging algorithm is a decentralized algorithm for physical synchronization. In decentralized algorithm, the time is divided into pixel length resynchronization interval. That is, the total time is divided into some fixed resynchronization intervals. That is interval that is used for resynchronization of clock. At the beginning of each interval, every machine broadcasts the current time according to its clock. That is, we have a different synchronization interval. At the beginning of each interval, every machine in the system broadcasts the current time according to its clock. After a machine broadcasts its time to all other machine, it starts a local timer to collect all other broadcasts that arrive during some interval. That is, after a machine broadcasts its time, it start a local timer. Local timer is used to count so for some time. It start a local timer to collect all other broadcasts that arrive during some interval. That means we will fix some time to collect the reply from all other server, all other machines. When all the broadcasts arrive, an algorithm is run to compute a new time from them. That is, we fix the some interval. Then at the beginning of the interval, all the machines send its time to all other machines, and then we start a timer, local timer, to collect all other replies. After receiving the replies, the machine will use a particular algorithm. We can a particular algorithm to compute the new time. That is the case of averaging algorithm. In the case of averaging algorithm, the simple method is used, that is, take the average value of all the received times. That is the case of averaging algorithm. We divide the total synchronization time into some interval. At the beginning of the interval, each machine send its time to all other machine. Then we start a local timer to collect all the replies. After receiving the replies, we will take the average of the all the time. That is a case of averaging algorithms. Then we can make a slight modification to this algorithm by discarding the some highest and some lowest value, and take the average of the rest of the values. That is, if the values is from the range of 25 to 75, we can cut down the first 15 values, that is lowest 15 values, that is from 25 to 40, and we can also cut down the some highest values, that is if 15 is reduced from 75, it will be 60, so the range will become 40 to 60. We take the value from 40 to 60. That is, by this we can minimize the error. That is another modification that can be made to this averaging algorithm. The next physical clock synchronization technique is network time protocol. Time protocol provides time services on the internet. That is, by using the NTP, the time on the internet is synchronized. That is, we are using network time protocol to synchronize time in the internet. NTP is a application layer protocol. Its default port number is 123. The NTP uses UDP as the transport layer protocol. So it can adjust the clock according to the UTT time. You already see the UTC. The NTP server adjusts its clock to UTC. Then it is synchronized the whole internet in the world. That is a case of use of NTP. The NTP server is located across the internet. That is, the NTP service is provided by a network of networks located across the internet. You can see in the figure there are a lot of servers that are connected by some hierarchical manner, that is called synchronization subnet. That is, there are a lot of systems numbered 1, 2 and 3. These servers are connected in a logical hierarchical manner. That logical hierarchy is called synchronization subnet. You can see there is a total of 6 servers that are connected in a hierarchical manner, logical hierarchical manner. Each level of the synchronization subnet is called stratum. Here you can see 3 levels, so there are 3 stratas. That is strata 1 and strata 2 and strata 3. The primary server are connected directly to the time source. Here we take the time source as UTC. The primary server is numbered as 1. That is directly connected to the UTC server, UTC time server. That is case. Then the secondary server is numbered as 2. The secondary server are synchronized with the primary server. You can see first the primary server synchronized with the UTC, then the secondary server are synchronized with the primary server. That is marked 2 in the system, in the figure. Okay. The workstations are marked as 3, are synchronized with the secondary servers. This is how the network time protocol provides time services on the internet. Then the network time protocol can operate mainly in 3 modes. That is, first one is multicast, second one is procedure call, then last one is symmetric. It can mainly work on these 3 modes of operations. The first one is multicast. In multicast, one computer periodically multicasts the time information to all other computer on the network. Other computer adjusts its clock by assuming a very small transmission delay. That is, one is multicasting its time and all other computer adjust its time by its value. It is suitable. This multicast is suitable only for high-speed LANs. It is mainly because there is a lot of machines are there. All machines are broadcasting its time. So broadcast or multicast means it is sending the message to a group of systems. So we need a high-speed LAN. So it is only suitable for high-speed LANs. That is, multicast is mainly suitable for high-speed LANs. The second mode of operation is procedure call. Its working is similar to our Christian's algorithm. That is, there is a server accept a request from the clients and send back the reply. That is similar to the Christian algorithm. This procedure call mode is applicable where multicast is not supported by the network hardware and software. That is, if the high-speed network is available, we can use the multicast mode. If it is not available, then we can use the procedure call mode. That is about the procedure call mode. The last mode is symmetric mode, which is used for high accuracy application. That is, if we need high accuracy in our system, then we can use symmetric mode. That is about the NTP. Then we can see the logical clock synchronization in the next session. Thank you.